So today I will be having a book review of the book The Hate You Give by Angie Thompson. The main character is Star. We see it from her perspective. She's a 16-year-old girl who lives in a lower income black community but goes to a rich white peppy school called William High. Some of the main characters in the book, obviously Star, she's our main character. We see everything from her perspective. She has a lot of inner conflict. She really feels like she lives in two different communities. On one, it's herself in this lower income black community where gangs are always kind of affect her way of life. And in this other community, she's a totally different person at her rich white preppy school. She often says that she says whatever she has to fit in. She's not who she really is, and she tries not to be outspoken because she doesn't want to be labeled the loud black girl. Some other main characters you have are Star's mother. You have Maverick, who Star's father used to be part of the King's gang, but he got out of it because of Star. He didn't want to risk hurting her and his family. You have Uncle Carlos, who is obviously Star's uncle, but he was a father figure for Star when she was growing up while Maverick was in jail. You had the Officer 115, which was the one who ended up shooting Khalil, which is kind of the main plot of the whole story. Everything happens because of that. Khalil was the teenager that got shot by the officer. And then you have Seven, which was her older brother. So, some of the pros and cons that I liked from the story. First off, the pros. The main thing that I liked about this book is it's kind of like a statement. It pointed out the book kind of revolved around a lot of things that were our major problems and things that happen in American society today. It showed how our police and how our criminal justice system are racist and target minorities. Throughout the book, these police officers, especially the officer that shot Khalil, he immediately thought that Khalil was a threat just because of the color of his skin. He never really gave him a chance. Khalil didn't have a gun. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't say anything wrong. It's just because he was black. They ended up shooting him. And the criminal justice system, the evidence was there, but they didn't convict him. Why didn't they convict him? If the roles were reversed and a black man shot a white man, he definitely would have went to jail. But the criminal justice system was rigged, and you can especially tell in this book when she was talking. Our main character, Star, was talking to the police officers about the murder. And when they were asking her questions, it had nothing to do with what the officer did or bad. They were not trying to find out if he did something wrong. The thing that they were trying to find out was what type of person Khalil was. Is he part of a gang? Did he do this? Did he do that? So really, they weren't trying to see if the officer did anything wrong. They were more trying to find evidence to say, hey, it's Khalil's fault. He was a threat. So I liked that it is realistic, and it kind of talks about some of the problems that America faces today. I thought it was very interesting how this book showed how, in a community, how a gang can really affect how everyone operates. Just even if you're not in a gang, if your family member's in a gang, if your friend's family member's in a gang, it affects everything. It affects your way of life. It affects what you say. So I thought it was very interesting. Not a lot of books you get to kind of see the perspective of how gangs can interfere in communities. And in this book, it did. And it was very interesting. I found it entertaining and interesting, but sad. I thought this book, it's an emotional book. I'm reading this book about this injustice and how it's not fair. And it makes you want to get off of the couch and say, hey, this is not okay, and I don't stand for this, and I stand with everyone, and I believe that everyone should be treated equal regardless of what they look like or regardless of their gender. So I think it was an emotional book. You know, me reading it and seeing Star's emotion and knowing that this happens in our country, I think it's an emotional book, and it touched the heartstrings a little bit. And so I think that's good in a book. You want to feel emotion, and when you read a book, you want to be able to think that it has changed you. And I think this book has changed me and motivated me to try to do more. And also, I liked the ending. It pulled everything together. Obviously, it's not the happiest ending because Khalil doesn't come back alive or something, and the officer, does not go to jail. But I thought it was a good ending. I won't spoil anything, but I liked the ending a lot. Cons. I wish that they would have shown more about the jury. So she talked in front of a jury about Khalil trying to send the officer to jail. She was making her case, and we didn't really see a lot of that in the book. I would have wished that we could have seen more what she said. I wish we could have seen how did the jury even take this case seriously, or was it immediately, no, Khalil they didn't really care because it was a white officer and a black teenager. Did they care? Was it close? What did the jury think? I would have liked to see that kind of insight. And they talked a lot about Maverick's past. I would have liked to see more about it. I think it was a very interesting topic. It's the main character's father. It helped shape. He has ties to everyone in the book. So I would have liked to see more about his past. And my favorite line of the entire book, I know it's kind of cheesy, but it was the last line of the book, the last part of the entire book. And it said, Khalil, I'll never forget. I'll never give up. I'll never be quiet. I promise. The reason that this is my favorite line of the book is because throughout the beginning and the middle of the book, in many different ways, Star has been afraid to be her and give her own opinion. In the beginning of the book, she wasn't really herself to all of her white friends at school. She didn't kind of say what she wanted to say. She was held back. And in the middle of the book, she was afraid to protest and really give her opinion. But at the end of the book, she really stood up for what she believed in. She wasn't going to be quiet and sit on the sideline and watch this injustice happen. At the end of the book, she even took the mic and stood up in front of a car and was the leader of the protest after the officer didn't get charged with anything. So it really showed that she evolved as a character, and I like that. So I thought the ending was great. I feel like it just showed how Star grew. So overall, I think that the book was amazing. I highly recommend it. I feel like it ties into stuff going on in America now, and it's a motivating book. It's an emotional book. I think it is an amazing book. It's not a super long read. It's not short. It's about 420 pages, but I thought it was a multi-layered, amazing, highly recommended 9.5 out of 10 kind of book. So thanks for watching this book review. It's a great book right here. Have a nice rest of your day.